Well, speaking of more to do, that next year, 2020, you were on television for the first time on Empire.
I was on Empire.
Okay. And was that the first time that you were actually acting?
Nah, I've been in so many different movies, like Detroit movies though. Like, so it was like underground, like local stuff that's actually out now. I think on Tubi and stuff like that. But like I've done 211, Buffed Up. I've done a few movies. And then, as far as a bigger platform, Empire was the first one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a big difference to do like a local, kind of an underground film to actually having it on Fox with multi-million-dollar budgets and, award-winning actors and so forth. Like, when you actually got in that kind of environment and actually saw yourself on television, did that really kind of influence you to kind of go harder with the acting thing?
You know what? Yes. Everything just is like, I just trust in God's timing and I believe in divine order. And I just felt like once I got that, I was just like, it ain't no stopping here. It's like you can do these appearances and doing these shows more. And so it's like, I was like, and then I seen Taraji on set. I was so excited. And just having my own trailer and leaving out to go act and do what I do and coming back. It was like, oh, I can get used to this. And I just wanted more. Shit, I wanted more. And that's every time I celebrate something, I don't celebrate it too long because it's more to get done, but I'm grateful. I'm so grateful and I'm so happy to be, in the position that I'm in. But I never just live in it too long and get too comfortable with that. I just try to keep on going.
Okay. And that led into the next year with the BMF TV series.
Yes.
So, number one, well, growing up in Detroit, I'm assuming you heard of BMF and Big Meech and Southwest T, I assume, right?
Of course.
So when you heard that 50 Cent is putting together the series, did you actually reach out and try to audition for it?
Well, my team told me that I needed to send in a tape. I guess what they do, the agency hit me and was like, we need your tape for this part, for the BMF. Because when I first heard about it, I was like, hell yeah, I need to be up in that. But at the time, I'm not even knowing that. At the time, I'm not knowing that it's happening. I just heard of it, and I was like, oh, when this happened, I want to be in that. So I totally forgot about it until they come around, was like, they casting for BMF. They want you to send in this tape for this role. And I'm like, all right, bet. Because the showrunner, Randy, he's from Detroit, and he wanted me on there. And, Tasha Smith she did the first couple episodes. She produced the first episodes or whatever. So she directed the first episodes. So they wanted me to do it too. And I sent it in for Kato. And then Kato part didn't work out for me. And they wanted me to do Monique. And then I sent them Monique tape and it worked out. And I got it. And 50 Cent called me and I was just ecstatic.
Now, originally, weren't you auditioning for the Kato role? The
Yeah.
girl who ended up getting killed in the first season?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you auditioned for Kato, and then what? They called in and said, hey, I think we want you as Monique instead?
Yeah, they called in and said, we think this role will fit you better, which it did. But, Kato was with the guys. You know what I'm saying? She was more of a tomboyish type, even though I'm like that. So that's what made me want to send it in. I feel like Adriana, she did great for Kato. She was perfect for Kato and I was perfect for Monique. So I'm cool. I was cool with that. Monique was, she was sexy. She was a paralegal. When they sent it, she was a paralegal. She was just a sexy. She had two of the rivals fighting against each other. They both was in love with her. She had a kid with both of the rivals, which was crazy to me. I'm like, I'm going to play it like that. I need to be her. I like that. So that's why I was like, I'm Monique, all right with me.
Okay, so I'm a big fan of the show. I actually have a history with BMF. Well, not a history, but, I've partied with BMF before in Atlanta. I've been to Big Meech's house, before everything went bad and so forth. So I was really looking forward to watching this show, and I've watched every episode so far. So let's talk about, your role in the show and kind of how everything sort of developed. So when it first started, when you first got introduced, you're having sex with Big Meech.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a nude scene in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. On the first
where
season.
Where you show your breasts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they came to you and said, hey, listen, welcome to the show, your first scene is going to be nude.
Right. That was the first scene that I would be seen, but that wasn't like how it came to me. It was like, okay, it'd be nudity on the show or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I've seen Power. I've seen all the shows that he produced. I'm like, I'm aware of that. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. So it's like, it's acting. It's not like I'm actually doing a flick. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm all right with it or whatever. But that wasn't the first one I actually filmed. Because they don't film by each episode, So I had a chance to actually get my feet wet and be there for probably 6-7 times I was on set, if more than that, before I actually had to do the sex scene. So I kind of got warmed up first, but it still was crazy. That was still crazy. However, it wasn't just like the first time I ever went on set, I had a sex scene. No, it wasn't. I thought that though. That was crazy. So the first day I was going, and when I read the script at the with the table read, I seen that that's how Monique was introduced, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, damn, my first time going, I got to do this, But I'm like, okay, cool. And when I went, I was prepared for this. I was drinking and everything going to work that day. That wasn't even what I was filming. I'm like, man, shit. Was nervous for no reason and didn't even film it until later. And I was like, okay, cool. So it gave me a chance to at least warm up and get used to everybody, get used to the people behind the cameras and stuff like that before I actually did the scene.
Right. Wasn't there a video that you had posted where you were watching the show with your mom and you had to cover her eyes when the sex scene came up?
So we went to go look at I told everybody I love first anyway. Everybody knew when I first got the role that I was going to have a sex scene. You know what I'm saying? I knew that before I even said yes. They tell you that. So I was okay with it. I ain't had no kids at the time. I'm young. I look good. Why not show it off like Holly Berry did, like Gabrielle Union did, like all these big, everybody that done it. So it's like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it right. And if I don't mind going viral real quick. It's all right. I look good. So that's how I felt about it. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I told everybody I love first. I told my mom. I told my dude at the time, I'm my dude now. I told them, I told my friends and everybody. And everybody was supportive of it because it's acting, So my mom knew. But when we went to the show, it's still my mom. So I just ran over there and tried to cover her eyes up. The whole time I'm covering her eyes up, she's like, let me see. I want to see if you got it from me. So I'm like, man, you play so much. And everybody laughing in the theater. It was a moment.